Okay, so I showed you in here before, and now I got a light to help you see a little bit. See the top there? There needs to be connected on the siphon a little bit. That's left. That's got to be a corner piece. All the rest of it's in there. So is the one on the other side. You can see that. Fit them up there to get welded into place. Just fit into the holes there, and they'll be welding those in. And of course, like I mentioned, the arch tubes will go in those holes. As you can see, from the inside, all the bolts are in place down there too. And again, like I said, up here, these bolts will be finished once the siphons go in. Now, I'm showing you the front end. What's going on in there? I showed you before. I'm going to get a closer view of that for you to show you all the tubes inside. Sorry for the noise. That's the air compressor down there. Okay. Now inside, here's the big fan we're using for cooling the guys working in here, because it gets pretty warm. It's coming in the summer. Okay. Now they've been working in here and get the stuff done. I got it cleaned out pretty well for them. At least been trying before they did this. Okay, you can see, well, maybe this light turn on, I don't know. No, they got it unplugged somewhere. Let's see. That's probably on the outside. Anyway, whoops, hit that board. There's the smokestack opening again, and of course we'll have that bell-shaped honeycomb that'll come down there. You saw on the outside, outside last month, and the one update I was able to do, and there's an opening under the bell shape that allows the smoke to come in from the tubes and flow out there, and of course there's this attachment in the floor that has the steam coming out of it from the cylinders. Okay, so inside here you can see the tubes inside, and you can see down a few of them pretty well into the firebox. And all these ones down here at the bottom, as far as I can tell, are all in. It's just a few of them. These ones here at the top, these ones still have the caps on. They need to be cut off the rest of the way. They've all been fitted in there, I guess, from the other side, and work on those. And these ones in here still need to push the rest of the way back into the tube sheet here. So this actually gives us a chance to see down in there how close these things will fit together. Can't even see the light there. There we go. See those tubes. So this here is too big of a space. The space that I'm showing you is what the tube has to fit inside in these holes. The water fits in the spaces here where you got the metal, where the tubes are being held. So basically the water flows all in between here, get over 5,000 gallons in between these spaces alone, and there's a little bit more that's above them. Up to in the back where the crown sheet is, and yeah, so it all flows around these holes. Well, the tubes. So that's what you're gonna see if you ever come into a steam locomotive like this, and it's operable. We're getting it near operable, so that's why you're seeing the tubes in here. So 1225 will be running soon if we get the money. Like I mentioned in another video, we're doing more contract work, and we're trying to sell some of our crap. Most of that wheel stuff you saw in the last video, throw another wheel set together. They actually undid this while they were working in here. This is just covering the opening for the steam to come through. Remove the board here. Give you a quick peek at what we're looking at. still kind of dark. And yeah, this board is covering it. There we go. So here we are. This is the opening for the steam. Get back a little for you. What happens is this is the opening that goes right into the cylinders inside of the steam chests on the outside that drive the pistons back and forth. This is the exhaust. Basically, after it goes through the pistons and the valve here, and it's separated either side. You got the fireman side steam chest, the engineer side steam chest. All the steam exhausts out these tubes and shoots up into the petticoat, and then on up the smokestack. The petticoat has the opening in it, so that the smoke from the tubes can't flow into it also. So when the steam comes out of the opening, out of the outlet here, it pulls the smoke out from there and creates a draft on the fire in the firebox, further helping it heat up and burn the coal more efficiently as it's moving. Now, how much coal you burn depends on how much the fireman puts in there, of course, and how much steam he needs to make. And so really it's kind of like cogeneration in a way, because you're using it to move the train, at the same time using it to fuel the fire. So all the steam comes out of here is from the steam chest that's driven the rods, it's moved the wheels, it's moved the train. And then it all gets expelled out here. Any steam in the boiler that's been condensed that hasn't been used will come, hopefully make it into the throttle assembly and come down into the superheater tubes and go back through these tubes, be reheated, and put back in the throttle assembly to be reused and actually be used to drive the train again, making it more efficient. And of course, this pipe here is the attachment for the blower. Steam will come through there. I think I mentioned this in an earlier video. There's going to be a part where it goes out like the burner on like a stove, only it's steam, and that helps create a draft, especially when the train is stopped, to put a draft in the fire and make it hotter, and hopefully burn the coal correctly. That way you can generate even more steam. So that's basically what you got here. I've finally been able to show you the outlet for the steam and how it actually goes up the smokestack with the smoke. And of course here are the branch pipes. So basically the steam is coming out of the boiler, it's going into the steam dome. Wherever condenses goes into the superheater tube and gets reused back into the throttle. The throttle opens with the steam that's been reheated as well as the steam that already came from the boiler into these branch pipes. And it goes down into the steam chest, into the cylinders where it drives the piston or the valve here on either side. And once that's done, it's expelled through the outlet here in the middle up the smokestack. And how it goes. That's how that works. I'm going to cover this back up, and we're going to go up to the back, and I'll show you in the cab. Be real careful not to knock anything in here. You don't want any dirt or debris to get down in there. They had that covered for the longest time until I had it cleaned out. So now anything that I get in there would be a lot of trouble for me and anyone else who wants to run this thing. So I'm going to do my best to keep it clean. Now another piece that goes in there, in front of the petticoat, will be a huge bar called the table, and that helps hold back anything. What happens is there's a netting that goes across a wire netting of the spark arrestor, so anything shooting from the front will get caught there before it goes up the smokestack, hopefully. The sparks usually just float their way out somehow. Then, of course, when the steam gets it, it pretty much puts any sparks out automatically. So it's mostly for when the train's not moving, the sparks kind of float their way up here. You try and catch as many of them as you can so you don't start fires along the side. Okay, working our way to the back here. The rods are being worked on like I showed you in the last video. Trying to, hopefully, next couple weekends here, have it all together and inspected. Going up in the cab here. Okay. So I showed you in the last video how everything's on here. Yeah, that we got so far. This part here, I'm gonna go through and explain it all. You can see on the diagram and how it all goes. See, what hangs on this thing is a couple of gauges, and this part here will be where light hangs down and shows on both of them. Different pressures. Here is the control valve for the water, and this is the main one, so the fireman can do it. And then we got an attachment here that runs a bar across, so the engineer can control it also. And I mentioned this is the stoker control valve. This supplies what you need to run it, and all these are the jets that supply the steam to push the coal into the firebox to where you need it. So, for instance, like I believe the ones on the left control the ones on the left, the ones on the right control them on the right. And you can see in there, see the jet is right here on top of the bowl, and it will, based on how much steam you give it to each one, they'll push the coal one way or the other towards the back of the firebox, which you can see there. It's pretty far back. It would be real difficult to hand shovel that all the way back there. So this is basically what you're going to see when it's all together, except there will be the ash pan and the grates covering the bottom, making up the floor of the firebox. And stretching across the siphons will be bricks, arch bricks that'll help insulate the heat. And that's basically what you're going to see in the firebox. Now, here are the doors. These are butterfly doors, of course. And they work either with the handle, but we also got the pedal on the floor that works on the air. That'll open those when the engine is under steam. But of course you can have them all the way open or partway open just by opening the handle. As you can see here, it's kind of the same thing as this. So, like this handle, it's only primered, so I'm not as worried. You got the locking mechanism. You can do it like that, or you can close it all the way and hang it up there. Now this portion here is the piston for the steam that operates the doors from the pedal. So that all goes in there. That's air operated. The steam provides the air. It pumps the air and pushes it out. There's a little there's an attachment in there. It's like a, I'm not sure how to explain it because I didn't see it all the way apart. But there's a hook in there that grabs it and forces it open and basically holds the door in place while you got your foot on the pedal. Then releases it once you take it off. So I'm going to open this back up so that way I got it all the way to the position it needs to be. So that way enough ventilation gets in there when they're working. Now these are air in the holes, allow you to make the fire breathe any way you want. Just open that. There's a little shutter door on the inside. So you can loosen these up. You can let in a little amount of air in there. Of course, you can open up the doors on the firebox just to let another draft. Keep that up. And we got the attachment here for more steam and water. It's the water column that you saw before we put the cab on. And this here, this dial, this gauge has a readout for steam pressure in the steam chest. get a little closer look there. Oh, it's kind of blurry. But the red lettering says red hand exhaust pipe, white hand steam pipe pressure. And guessing what that means is this locomotive is measuring the amount of pressure that's going in and out of the steam chest. So this is the white is how much pressure is being applied to the pistons, and then the red down here is if it goes backwards, it becomes a vacuum. I believe that's bad. I'm gonna have to get someone to tell me. Usually red means bad in this business. Anyway, here's the engineer's seat, and what the engineer sees is looking out this window. Can't really tell because we're in a building and there's scaffolding in the way. But it's a little more than this usually because it would be on the outside. But usually you see the engineer on a steam locomotive stick his hat out the window so he can see better, especially when it's raining. But what happens is there's an attachment on the window here that flips out. That's a piece of glass that you can look through. And of course there's usually an apron, well, a curtain that comes across here, and there's a little sunshade that you can look out. It helps in the sun and in the rain. It will attach to this bracket here to fold out from the window. And that's how the engineer sees in the rain. So no windshield wipers, unfortunately. But this is pretty much where the engineer sits and does all his stuff. We got the brake stand here, and he was supposed to send these out to Papco, detach them, but he wanted to get this up here. So it's all fitted up and ready to go. So this handle here is the train brake. It's the air controls the brakes on the locomotive and all the cars. You got some supply and running, compression, and emergency stop. So it's the opposite of what you saw in the movie, the Polar Express, where the kid throws it this way to stop the train. He actually, well, no, he pulled it like that to stop it. Really, what he should have done is thrown it like this to throw on the emergency brakes to make that work. I don't know. They even got the throttle around the movie. The throttle. This is the shop position for the throttle. They show it as all the way back is the shop position, but forward is off. Back is full steam ahead. We got the lock on it to prove that. This will keep it from going anywhere. And we gotta paint the handle red still. That's what he wants for that. But this here is the locomotive brake, or the independent, and basically just controls the air brakes on the locomotive. It's only got 3 positions. Well, kind of. You got holding. It's pretty much on and off. That's about it. So you can't really do much with the brakes on the locomotive other than start and stop. So that's that. And this wheel here is the reverser. And a lot of you have commented, it's like it's a steering wheel, or you only see these on European locomotives. Well, if the railroad was poor enough, they ordered these. These are actually the forerunners to the air-powered reversers. This one is air-powered or steam-powered, but it's wheel. There's no air lever to move it back. Basically, here's the lock, holds it in place. Just spin it. And I believe left is reverse, and then forward would be turn it to the right. You want it to go off as far to the right as you can. And I used to say that this part in here measured the gear, but there's no gear since it's Baker valve. Huh? Okay. Well, I gotta get going here. So that's basically how the controls work. Yeah, based on layman's terms. So I gotta get going here and help these guys out. So that's what we're looking at. Okay.